common misconceptions that I see people have who are infected with HIV would be that people think that you can't be in a relationship, that you can't have sex again. Totally not the case. I've had plenty of sex since I've been positive, and it definitely happens. I think a lot of people are confused with when they first get diagnosed. Okay, I don't want to have sex. I'm not feeling having sex. That's part of the grieving process. If you contracted this virus through sexual contact, whatever the circumstances might have been, you might not be the most prone to say, hey, I'm going to go jump in the bed. This is ultimately what has caused you to feel a lot of pain and hurt when you first get diagnosed with HIV. So it's like, well, it brings back those memories. It brings back those times. So that's a big misconception that you can't have sex. You definitely can have sex. There are ways to protect your partner. Obviously, there are ways, to go about it, to go about disclosure. But at the same time, that's a big misconception that I see. Another misconception that I see is people think that they are going to die the next day. HIV is no longer a death sentence. It is now what we consider a chronic manageable condition. It's not something that is going to kill you, immediately. It's not something that's going to have to take your life 20, 30 years from now. There are people literally living dozens of decades, 3, 4 decades now, that have HIV, that have had it ever since the beginning of this epidemic, and they're thriving, they're living life. HIV is no longer a death sentence. It's really something that you can manage. It's not to say that it is something simple to manage or that it's easy, but at the same time, it is manageable if you put forth the effort and you stay in contact with your doctor about it. The more you educate yourself, the better. Another misconception I'd see is that people think that you can't have kids. You definitely can have kids living with HIV, whether you and your partner are positive, whether you alone are positive, or whether you're with someone who's positive. Whatever the case, you can have a baby, and more than that, you can have a baby that's free of HIV. So the joys of parenthood and fatherhood, motherhood, don't have to behoove you. It's definitely possible to have kids with HIV, kids without HIV, that are negative. Another misconception that I see is people think that nobody will love them because they have HIV. There is still a lot of stigma. There is still a lot of ignorance. But at the same time, there are still a lot of people that are understanding in this world, and a lot more than you might think. You might face some tough times where, somebody says something and you're like, oh no, that proved my point right, but ultimately those people are far and few between. Living with HIV, you got to have tough skin. You got to have tough skin, and you're going to have people that say stuff, but at the same time, they're very far and few between. The amount of support I've received since I came out about being has been enormous. And I definitely think a lot of it's your perception on things. It's how you view your virus and how you present your virus. I think a lot of people commonly explain their HIV status to somebody else, maybe in a way that makes the other person feel scared, maybe triggers those fears or those misconceptions they already had. And so you get what you get. If you are projecting negativity, you're most likely going to receive that back. If you're saying, oh, to the hell with it, I'm HIV positive, what the hell, what the F, all this stuff, then people are going to be like, dude, this guy's got some serious issues, However, it's however you project it, that's how it's going to come across. So I would definitely suggest that you approach how you tell people in a very calm and collective way. Obviously, it's an emotional thing, so it's not to say you can't have emotions, but approach it in a way that people are educated, that people do not feel fearful about it, and try to break every stereotype that you think that they might have in their head. Most people think that someone living with HIV, it's just somebody that looks sick, that's this and that. That doesn't have to happen. Living with HIV, that's also another big misconception, that people look sick, people look a certain way. People with HIV don't look like anything. As far as we are people as well. We have families, we have lives. As you can see, I don't look that sick right now. I do have bags under my eyes. I promise I didn't get in a fight. I woke up a little late this morning, so that's why I have bags, but it's definitely not because I'm sick. Do I get sick every once in a while from the flu, something else? Yeah, everybody does. But it's not due to my HIV status. So definitely educate yourself and those around you. And those are some of the misconceptions that I feel about people have that HIV.